Hello students, I am Dr. Ajay Singh, Assistant Professor at ABS Engineering College Ghaziabad under the University Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University Lucknow. So, today I am going to talk you on the topic retail organization. It is a fourth unit of sales and retail management, the specialization paper. Today I will talk about what is retail organization. Now, the term retail organization refers to the basic format or structure of retail business designed to cater the needs of the end customer. So, retail is basically when you are dealing with the end user or end customer. This is the last chain in the distribution. Retail firms may be independently owned, part of retail chain, operated as a franchisee, lease department, owned by manufacturer or wholesaler, consumer owned or cooperative society. So, basically retail organization is a kind of structure which depends upon the ownership, it depends upon the type of location, types of ownership. For example, if there is a single man ownership, then it is a sole proprietorship. If there is more than two owners, then there is a partnership. If some two companies meet together to do the business, maybe foreign, international or different markets, then they go into a joint venture. So, different kind of organization, different kind of format, retail organization formats are there to understand the needs of the customer and to sell the product to the customers. Now, retail units by the ownership. The first is manufacturer unit. Manufacturer are the company owned retail outlets in which the manufacturer manufacture the products and sell directly to the consumers, right. No intermediaries are involved. Intermediaries means wholesaler, dealer or retailers, distributors. There is a direct manufacturing of the product and it is direct delivered to the consumers. So, many of the manufacturer what they do? They do not do any kind of stores, they do not have any kind of retail outlets or they do not outsource their products to any organization, whereas they sell their product by themselves, that is manufacture. Next is wholesaler. Now, wholesaler is basically the retail outlets basically who are going to produce for the consumer, not directly for the consumer, but for business people, means they are going to produce the goods or they are going to deliver the goods to the retailer who in fact are going to give to the end user or consumers. So, wholesaler purpose is just to manufacture the products for commercial needs and give it to the retailer or the outlets from where they can deliver the products to customers. For example, Vastra outlet in Rajouri Garden in New Delhi. Now, it is a wholesaler outlet in which they manufacture the basically garments, clothing garments for the wholesaler needs. In the bulk they produce it and they distribute to the retailers, so that it can be given to the end users. Next is independent retailers. Now, independent retailers are basically the people who are just manufacturing the products for direct consumers. They are managing, manufacturing, selling their products in their own outlets. For example, Chanakya Sweet Shop in Hazratganj near Lucknow, they are independent retailers. They give their products to the end users directly. They manufacture, they understand the need of the consumer and they give directly to the end user or customers. Whereas, third is consumer, that is consumer owned grocery stores in many residential societies. So, it is the people who consume it also, but they open the store for the sake of other consumers and they give the product to the end user. So, it is based on the consumer needs, is based on the local needs and it is very convenient for the people who are the end users. Next is cooperative society. For example, Mother Dairy, it is a form of cooperative society which provide milk both in Delhi, that they have basically stores throughout the Delhi region and they what they do is they have their own manufacturing unit, they take the they take the raw material in terms of milk from cow and cow, goats, buffalo, and different kettles, and they have their own manufacturing unit from which they in the Papaganj in Delhi they have their unit manufacturing unit where they manufacture. They have the set design, they have the set procedure, they have the set process, and through which they produce different kinds of milk which depends upon SNF, that is depend upon the quality of the fat, the ingredients, and according to that they classified into tone milk and the full cream milk and different products and related to ice cream and other products, which is being manufactured and their stores, and they are distributed to their stores, and they are distributed across the Delhi to the stores. In the morning they basically provide all the milk product to their stores and which is distributed. Next is government. So, many of the organizations basically what they do is they basically government has the ownership. Many of the cottage industry, many of the small scale industries are being run by the government. The purpose of this is to produce and manufacture goods for the needs of the people in which the government has the ownership. Now, another form of ownership is shared among franchisee and franchisees. The franchisee system in which the franchisor gives the license to franchisee. Franchisor what they do is basically they have their own technical teams, they have their own technical processes, the defined processes, defined structures, and they work and the franchisee work as per their as per their. They also provide the human resources to their franchisee. They provide the same kind of platform, they can provide the same instrument and equipments, so that the people so that the product can be manufactured as per the standardized procedure. So, ownership is given to the franchisees. Now, classification of retail on the basis of ownership. The first is retailer classified on the basis of ownership. The second classification is basis of the operational structure, how they are going to operate, that is basically cost operated on the basis of the cost, manufacturing cost, or on the basis of profit margin, or on the basis of stores and how they are going to operate. And third is classification of retailer on the basis of location, that is what kind of location. The location is very important factor for any retail outlet, because the location depends upon the size of the population, what kind of population we are having, what kind of socio and demographic factors are influencing that location, what kind of religious people are there, what kind of culture they have, what kind of fooding habits they have. So, on the basis of that the location is decided and the units are being set up. So, first is sole proprietorship on the basis of ownership. As I have discussed, the sole proprietorship is the individual ownership. It has various advantages as compared to other, it is not a legal entity, and you can, as a sole proprietorship, a single person can run any retail units, any organization, not lot of formalities done, not a very big organization, individual people can run, and it can be on the name of the individual person. Whereas partnership form is basically when two or more than two people involved, they come up together to meet the business need, they share the profit, they share the initial investment, and they all the profit and liabilities, all the gains and liabilities are being shared by all the partners. Joint venture is basically when two companies must meet together to meet their business needs. They have to come into the international market and they work according to that to come the business to meet the needs of people, businesses across the globe. Now, limited liability company, these are public limited company and private limited company. So, on the basis of these classification are done. The first is sole proprietorship. Now, the sole proprietorship, as I have already told, is the simplest business form under which one can operate a business. It is not a legal entity. It simply refers to a person owns the business and is personally responsible for its debts, whatever the liabilities, what are the debts, whatever the loans, individual owner is responsible for that. A sole proprietorship can operate under the name of its owner, or it can do business under a fictitious name. The name can be decided by the people, by the individual people. He can put any name, and it is not a legal entity. All the liabilities, this kind of this kind of business structure or the retail model does not have does not have so much of significance, because all the liabilities are for single people, all the liabilities are for individual, all the profits are for individual. So, only the individual is responsible in case of any casualty, in case of any death, in case of any problem, legal issues, only one person is responsible, and that person, he has to bear all the losses and all the profits. So, it is easy to frame out, it has its own advantage, it can be easily framed out. They can run organization without the involvement of any other, only simply they have to do register by their own name, and they have to certain amount of fees, and they can run their own business. It is not a very structured form of business, it is not a form in which many people are involved and many people are. So, banks normally they do not entertain for the loans and other purposes. So, it has few disadvantages also, not easy to get the loan in case of sole proprietorship, because the liability is for individual people. If the person is not so much capable, is not having so much of good financial transactions, he may not be able to get loan and increase the business, and also the manpower is limited, individual people is involved in that. So, he may not he may not be preferred by public institutions or public peoples. Now, partnership, as already told you, is a form of formal arrangement by two or more parties to manage and operate a business and share its profit. So, more than two people, they come together, they basically invest it, and they try to run the business, and they get the profit, and the profit and losses are equally shared among the partners. In general partnership company, all members share both profit and liabilities. So, whatever the profit is, it is been equally shared among the members, or as per the mutual agreement done between the members, and all the liabilities are also their concern. So, more than two people are involved, it is better as compared to proprietorship. People trust in those partnership firms, and the firm can be a big corporation or a big people, or the single investors, more than two investors, they are meeting together, or a professionals like doctors and lawyers, they have limited liability partnership in which they come together, they meet, that lawyers will be looking for the legal advisory purpose, and doctors may be looking for their technical purposes. There may be tax benefit to a partnership partnership compared to a corporation. So, tax benefits are there in partnership, and people get benefits, that is why they do partnership, and that form is preferred as compared to sole proprietorship. Now, again very important, at the global level, at the international level, is the joint venture firms. Now, what is joint venture firm? A joint venture is a business arrangement in which two or more parties agree to pool their resources for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. They are meeting together, for example, BMW and Toyota, what they are doing is they are into a research of hydrogen fuel cells, vehicle electrification, and ultra light weighted materials. So, they have come into an agreement in which one company is good in automobile, one company is good in technology, they are working together just to meet the business need, just to capture the market. Maybe one company is very good in one region or in one nation, another company is good in another nation or another region. They together make a joint venture, a kind of technical a technical involvement in which some technical peoples are involved, in which some other resource peoples are involved from different organization, and they together meet, and they together decide the activities and project, and they work on those products. The task can be a new project or any other business activity. A joint venture can be brought about in the following major ways. The first is how it can be taken up is, first is foreign investors buying an interest in a local company. Many of the time you have seen that people foreign companies, they have shown interest and they purchase the share of Indian companies. This happens because they are interested to come in the market, Indian market. Many of the joint ventures have already occurred earlier, right. So, these joint ventures are basically done to capture the international market or the market which is beyond their reach, and this is the best way to enter foreign entry modes. Next is local firm acquiring an interest in an existing foreign firm. For example, recently you can see that Reliance and this other big giant foreign company, they have come into collaboration, the joint ventures. Basically, the purpose of this joint venture is just to capture the market, right. Facebook and other companies, they are doing Facebook and WhatsApp. The Facebook has been acquired by WhatsApp. The purpose was to capture the market in India, and the Facebook has purchased the WhatsApp according to that, and they have entered into a joint venture, so that all those customers, all those businesses needs can be fulfilled and catered. Similarly, we can see a tie up between different telecom industries, Airtel and different AT&T. There is a tie up in which AT&T is providing a network and Airtel is providing their own support, and people, and they are coming into international markets. Both the foreign and local entrepreneurs jointly form a new enterprise together with public capital and or bank debt. So, whatever the kind of agreement they do together, whatever the liabilities are, what are the debts are, they are sharing with each other, and they are, the purpose is to come into the international market. It is a way of foreign entry mode into the international market, apart from exporting and other modes of entry. Now, classification of retailer on the basis of operational structure. Operational structure is how they are going to operate, their cost efficiency, their market, their demands, and their cater the needs of customer. The first is independent retail units. Independent retail unit is basically they do not have any outlets, they have only single outlets, or they are running independently, they do not have any kind of linkage with other chains, or they do not have chains, whereas retail chain is a group of chains. For example, Big Bazaar. Big Bazaar is a store format, a retail chain which is across the India. So, the purpose is they are having the same format, whether you go to Big Bazaar Delhi, whether you go to Big Bazaar Lucknow, whether you go to Big Bazaar Bangalore, whether you go to Big Bazaar Pune, all those retail chains are same, which is held, initially it was held by Kishore Biyani, they have started, now it has been acquired by Reliance. So, basically this is a store format, or you can see in the other food and grocery retail chains such as Spencer's, which is food and grocery retails. Another retail chain is, you can have Reliance. Reliance is another retail. Pantaloons is into clothing and apparels. Shoppers Stops is into clothing and apparels. So, these are the stores, these are the outlets across the cities, across the nations, according to the population, according to the demand in the market. They are having their chains throughout the country, and they have uniformity, they have same kind of structure, they have same operational working techniques, right. So, they have similar category management, visual merchandising, and other techniques they use similar kind of sorting techniques. So, all these techniques are used in retail chains and retail outlets. Next is franchising. Now, franchising is basically another form of structure in which there is two parties involved. One is franchisor and another is franchisee. For example, McDonald's. So, McDonald's is a kind of franchises, they operate retail stores or the food stores in terms of their franchisee system. For example, they operate in across different countries, various countries. In US they have the same, McDonald's in European countries also they run, in China they run, in India also they run. What they do is they use the similar technology, they use the same logo, they use the same kind of same kind of structure, the same layout, the same kind of people, the same kind of service, the same kind of production process, and basically only as per the cultural needs, as per the fooding and taste preferences, on the basis of culture they vary their products line. For example, you can get in India you can get a burger which is of potato, or which is aloo tikki burger you normally get in the stores of McDonald in India, whereas in US and other countries and other Middle East countries you can get burger of beef and other pork and other preferred non-vegetarian dishes. So, basically they have the same similar kind of product, but due to cultural differences they are incorporating some changes in the ingredients. Now, next is lease department or shop in shop. Basically, this is another kind of format in which a store is leased and a shop is made on the basis of long term lease agreement they do, and they run over 50, 100 or 200 years lease, and they work and operate in a retail format, in a store format, and they have different, for example, food and grocery products, apparel and clothing products on their shop. People come and visit, and basically the purpose of this shop is it is easy to monitor them. Next is cooperative outlet. As I have already discussed, these are basically a kind of semi government outlets which are being run by mother dairy or some Amul. These are cooperative institutions, milk product or agricultural products. So, what they have a kind of structure in which they meet with the rural people, they take the resources from the rural people at cost effective manner, and what they do, they use their own processes, they set up their own equipment and machinery, and according to their equipment and machinery, what they do is they manufacture the product, they change and they make changes in the product, and they customize the product as per the need of the customers, and they have a proper distribution channel, effective distribution channel. The distribution channel could be through stores, through the outlets, and they distribute their milk products or other products which may be ice cream or maybe butter or maybe some other milk related products at the stores, and they sell the products. Even they operate in rural areas and urban areas both. Now, classification on the basis of location. Now, location is another very strategic point in which the retailers are classified. First of all is retailers in a freestanding location. Now, freestanding location is basically where people can easily come and purchase the product. Maybe a street on the different streets on the top posh locations in metro countries, metro cities, where they can put their outlets, and people can come up and purchase the products on their outlets. Retailer in a business associated location is basically many of the organized retailer, they are coming up in big commercial places. Basically, for example, all those big stores such as West Side, such as Pantaloons, such as Shoppers Stops, they are available in the location where there is a corporate hub, where there are multinational companies. So, the purpose is they provide the product which are of international standards. So, people across the globe, they are working in those corporate houses, and they prefer shopping in those locations. So, in those locations, these outlets are there which caters the need of the corporate people or global people, in which they are having merchandise or assortment as per the requirement of the international people across the culture, across the globes. Now, retailers in specialized market is specialty stores. Specialty stores are basically when you have specialization in your particular products. For example, in specialty stores, you have suppose you have a Skechers shop. So, they are into specialist in shoemakers, and they provide the shoes on their particular outlets, or maybe a specialized market may be related to electronic goods, maybe a exclusive outlet of Sony, maybe an exclusive outlet of Samsung, or maybe an exclusive outlet of Levi's, where basically they are specialized, they are giving the products, niche products to the customers. Maybe automobile sector, in which the showrooms of Mercedes and showrooms of BMW, they are basically specialized market, they are covering up those segments or those markets which are top notch markets, top notch peoples are being covered, right. So, basically the purpose is they are best in their segment, and they are capturing the niche people, niche products, and according to that they are specialized, and they are providing products as per the need. Next is airport retailing. Now, airport retailing, you go to airport, you will find different outlets, different retail stores, even you have duty free stores are there. The duty free store purposes, they are exempted from any kind of export and import duties, due to which the products are cheaper as compared to stores in metros or stores in the business associated areas. Similarly, airport retail have the franchisee model also. Majority of the models, majority of the retail models are available in the airport, at the international destinations, where you can see different kind of outlets, such as you have CCD Coffee Cafe Day, you have you have this KFC stores, KFC outlets, you have different kind of apparels and clothing, and different exclusive outlets are also there. So, the purpose of this is the people who are traveling, those who are having international those who are having international cultural varied across the nations, they can purchase from those stores or those places. Now, basically these airport retailing is a concept which was involved once the organized structure has come up. Organized structure means how organized retail has come up, and these retail formats have existed because of organized form. Initially in India or in developing countries, what is there, that organized structure organized retail is only 8% as compared to unorganized retail, which is 92%. So, emerging countries like India and other nations, they have a lot of scope in retail sector, and retailing retailing is contributing to the growth GDP of the country, and with the big players across the world, such as Walmart, such as Carrefour, such as such as big stores, they are coming in the emerging and in Indian markets. The purpose is to make it more the market, with the expansion of the market, with the LPG liberalization, privatization and globalization, the market has expanded, and even the governments are supporting FDI, foreign direct investment. What they are allowing? They are allowing the people to come up in different formats. There are different entry formats, right. People come as at a duty stores, or simply they can get the license and they can enter into the foreign market by licensing mode, by exporting mode. By exporting simply they are exporting the products, and they have export stores, from the stores, duty free stores, which is available even in the stores, even at the airports and locations, lounges, where they can get the product. And specialized product exclusive showrooms are there across the world, across the country. Their purpose is basically to give the standardized product across the world. So, they are specialists and they are the market leaders. They are giving the product across the world with the same standardized product, with the same configuration, with the same specification, and people do not doubt. For example, we can see that HP laptops or compact laptops or Dell laptops, they are specialized, they are the leaders in the laptop in the laptop or electronic industry. What they do is they provide their own products across the stores, and they give their own services, and basically they are selling to the end users or to the retail users. So, that is a kind of specialized structure, specialized market for electronic people. Similarly, basically on the basis of location, now India and other developing countries, they have become top locations across the world, from where the big players are coming up, and leading companies are showing interest in these countries. So, with the upcoming retail market and with the upcoming organized sector, a lot of opportunity is there for the retail sector to grow. Thank you very much.